Oh, hi there. Chris here. I hope you are doing fantastically well. On Friday, as is the case with every Friday, I had my New Music Friday live stream on Twitch, which you can follow me and check out below. And I had a fantastic chat with Ryan and Jimmy of Nowhere to Run. They are doing some great stuff. They've released a 3-track EP that has just got 3 absolute face melters on it. And I highly, highly recommend you check them out. Really, really enjoyable. Some of the best sounds I've heard in a while. Really exciting music, unpredictable, but just really cohesive stuff. And yeah, on Friday I had a great chat with them. Talked about all sorts of things, how they formed, where they're from, their influences, their DIY approach, music nerd, technology, production stuff, the whole gamut of everything that's involved in creating and releasing music nowadays. Really interesting chat, really interesting songs. Enjoy the interview and check out their EP. Hi guys, how are you doing today?
What's up?
What's up?
Not bad.
Pleasure to have you. Pleasure to have you here. Thanks so much for coming.
Pleasure to be here.
Chatting to us. Yeah, I played one of your tracks. So I believe it was the first track that you released, which was "A Town is a Place Where Everyone Hates You."
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah. I played that a few weeks ago. Really enjoyed it. And then, when did you drop the actual EP? That was...
It's been a couple weeks
couple
now.
weeks, yeah. So I've listened to it a lot. I think it's fucking great. Great little set of tracks.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Really,
fun,
really
for sure.
enjoyed it. What's the deal? Because I know I'm in a duo, right? And what's the kind of division of labor? What's going on between you? How do you two work together?
So I write all the music,
Yeah.
and then Jimmy screams.
I just yell a bunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We had some other projects together, and this was something that Ryan had sent me a couple things for, and then was like, "Hey, you should contribute." And I was like, "I've got this. This is what I have."
Got a yelly voice.
So did you have some kind of lyrical ideas beforehand, or were you just like, this is fresh, let's go in fresh and see what we can do?
A lot of times, with the way we write lyrics together, we'll have like some one-liners.
Yeah.
And kind of build off of that. With this one, we had a few ideas beforehand, but we're just kind of, as we were recording, writing stuff that fit. Yeah, it was a good time.
What's your so you had the tracks ready to go basically, Ryan? Was that pretty much music wise, like you were mainly there?
I had that first track that you listened to, "A Town," and I don't think I had everything written when we started doing vocals for that. I think it was kind of like, oh, we should do more like this, because it was kind of working out. So I just wrote 2 other songs somewhat in the same vibe.
Nice. Is that your kind of natural musical inclination? What you came up with, or?
So I had we had just finished an album with our other band, which is 20 Below, and I wanted to kind of just do something different from that, but not entirely different, just more experimental, I guess. And just kind of
I haven't actually listened to any of 20 Below. What kind of style is that? What would you say that is more of?
It's not too far.
It's more straightforward, like post-hardcore, I feel like.
Yeah. More, there's actual like singing.
Yeah, for sure. And then more people contributing.
Yeah, there's two other guys.
This is your brainchild in some ways. Do you feel like you've exhausted the mine of this kind of type of, or this approach? You want to kind of pursue it further? You got more ideas? You want to get more experimental? What kind?
Well, like
we wrote another song recently. It's not really finished by any means.
It was like
just been kind of messing around a little bit.
Within an hour, we had like another 2-minute track, and we were just goofing around. So definitely feel like we could easily.
Nice.
We could make more
push it further.
It's just, I think with the other project, we were very focused on it, and I wouldn't say trying hard, but putting more effort into it for sure. This was something we were just kind of like goofing around and having more fun with, I feel like. And so it's been a little bit easier to kind of just pump stuff out and not be as I don't know, analyzing it as much.
Yeah. That's actually quite nice because you can get into that kind of analysis paralysis kind of mode when you're writing music sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
How long have you two guys known each other? Like a while?
A very long time. Yeah. I know, like, we were hanging out adjacently in like high school bands and stuff. Yeah. But I think we started hanging out more so probably about like 10 years ago.
Cool.
Close to that.
And you're based in Kansas City, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Kansas City, Missouri.
Nice. Can't say I know it, but what's the music scene like down there? Is it a pretty big city, like pretty varied, or?
It goes through like phases.
For sure, phases. Yeah, I feel like when we were in high school, there was a lot of stuff happening. That's like 06, 07. A lot of stuff going on. And then I think as time has gone on, there's been like little pockets of stuff happening for sure.
Nice. Maybe we'll listen to the tracks. I think that's enough of an introduction, and then I'll ask you some more questions later, some more kind of musical nerd questions, like production nerd questions that I've got, and it'll give chat a chance to ask any of theirs. So cool. Let me see if I get the title of this EP right, because it's a long one. So the title of the EP is "If Only You Could See What I've Seen With Your Eyes." So here we go. Awesome, guys.
text? I just have email.
We're back. That was awesome, guys. Really enjoy those tracks. And that fucking
Thank you, man.
That ending of that last track hits hard.
Yeah,
I really enjoy that.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah, you got to end on a hard hitting, on a climax, right? You got to have that climax.
And then thanking everyone for being there.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for coming.
I had a few questions actually. Just kind of, I know we were talking about a bit of stuff while while everyone else was listening, but like maybe you can tell me a little bit about your recording in terms of like guitar, what kind of equipment you were using, that kind of stuff. I know, like I saw an Instagram post of a panoply of pedals. So I was like, shit, man, I see a Strymon Big Sky.
Yes, that's the best.
Yeah, I don't imagine it made it too much onto this EP.
Not at all.
No.
No. Yeah, for guitar, I have a Axe FX 2,
Nice.
and pretty much I just used
Just peeking at them now.
this Dune Overdrive by Earthquaker Devices,
Oh, nice.
and the whammy pedal for like the
like
drop
down
tune
one.
stuff that you hear at times.
Yeah,
just
so
to-
I heard some of that. You were playing with the pitch, like bringing the pitch
that
up
too,
and down. Yeah, like they do in Gent a lot of the time nowadays. The
Yes.
humanity's last breath kind of fucking.
Yes, absolutely.
love it.
So we had actually we interviewed in October a band called Alt, whose last EP was
I feel like I've heard
mixed by Buster of HLB.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so very, very similar in sound, but yeah, that sound that he gets is just so brutal. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Victor says Strymon is life. Yeah, I look on their
is,
website.
100%.
I look on their
So
website.
expensive.
I know that Big Sky alone. I bet that was a treat, right?
Oh, it's so nice.
I bet
And
the build quality is like superior, right? Surely must feel.
It is, and
yeah.
and I just leave it on my floor, and I feel that. I feel like I should like put it in a like rack or something.
So you got your guitar going into the June before the Axe FX, is that right? Or yeah, cool.
Yep.
And bass, you played bass or you programmed it? Or?
Yeah, no, I played. I played Telecaster for guitars, and then I have like a 5-string jazz bass going into a bass overdrive directly into my interface. And
Oh, nice. So it's basically a DI. You didn't do any kind of.
I am just saturating it a bit before.
Yeah. Does Axe FX have any bass options or not really? Because
They do, and I'm trying to get away from that because I feel like it's just been mixed results. I like being able to like use plugins after, just having kind of like a DI signal to mess with.
That's kind of I went this route and I got one of these. Wait, so you can see, which is just a splitter.
Oh, nice.
So I've got a Kemper, which I think does bass a little better than the Axe FX,
Sure.
I'd say, because you tend to get a lot more bass packs, I think, nowadays. From what I've heard anyway. But yeah, I like to give myself both options, and then I just ignore one of them. And
It's the same.
yeah.
The pedal I use has a like DI out as well, which is nice, so I can get the completely clean signal and then the distorted signal.
Nice.
And I usually just go with the distorted.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Victor asks, Telly ? Standard pickups.
Yeah, it's I forget which like model it is, but yeah, just stock. Like it's a pretty nice Telecaster.
Riri Apple Pie says these boys are cute. You must
Shouts out to Riri Apple
Shout
Pie.
out to Riri.
Cool. So you were saying in terms of drums, when everyone else was listening, that they programmed drum situation. Would you like what's the deal? I guess would you be interested in the future in like getting a drummer in, or are you like that's the whole thing we don't want to get involved with?
I would absolutely love that, but it's gotta make sense, you know. It's gotta. I don't know.
Are you wanting to take this live at some point, or is this just it's such like a bit of a side project? You didn't really consider it when you were writing.
Definitely did not consider it.
Considered for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And it's also pretty expensive to record drums, right? So
Yeah, worth it, I think.
But yeah, we were just talking about that. Yeah, it kind of is worth it, as much as good as the technology is these days, as good as whatever Get Good or Superior Drummer 3 is. There's just something about the natural sound, the openness of the room, whatever, that just sounds so great.
You can't simulate it yet.
Yeah, there's something even like Superior 3, right, which I've used and I think is really great. It's just not the same. There's like an airiness in the room that you just don't.
Right.
I think I could be full of shit. So it's not been it's been known to happen. Is there any questions from chat? Otherwise, I'm gonna. Well, actually, I wanted to ask you what kind of stuff you guys are listening to right now. What kind of music you guys are into?
I feel like I'm stuck in being a teenager. I still listen to a lot of the same stuff I always have.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the newer stuff, usually Ryan sends me some fun stuff. Like Loathe stuff is good. We're About That Life. Static Dress. Way into that.
That'll be a new one for me.
UK boys, I think.
Yeah, UK.
Yeah.
UK band.
Loathe was really good. The last album was really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. What's that? Like If I Die First. I've been listening to that a lot.
A lot of like early sounding post-hardcore.
Yeah, for sure. In a revolving door of that.
Did you know that Loathe tune their guitars to like an octave lower than E standard?
Yeah, they play baritones or bass 6 guitars. So they're just 3 bassists pretty much.
Yeah, so like their low E is just a bass string basically.
Yeah.
it's mad. It's so crazy.
It's kind of necessary, I guess, if you're trying to play that low.
But it's interesting because they were saying like their bass player actually plays in E standard as well. So the uniqueness of the sound is like the guitars dropped an octave and the bass locked in,
right?
Which I thought that was really interesting because like so many bands these days are like tuning down to like F0. Their basses
you
to
don't
like
even
F0.
hear it. Like,
yeah, it's
most
so hard.
Speakers can't play it.
It's so hard to deal with in the mix as well. Cool guys. I don't really have any more questions. Anything you guys want to shout out or mention before we kiss you good
shouts
night?
out to Josh Martin Art for all the rad art for the album. He did 3 separate things for each track, and then it's
there's
good times.
a link there. I've just put a link to his Instagram, which I found.
Perfect.
He's a tattoo artist, right? Primarily.
For sure.
Yeah.
A co-worker of mine.
Nice. There are some questions if I scroll up. Sorry.
Oh, sure. Let's do it.
They describe the music scene as variable and very phasing. Why is that? Because it's like that over here in New Zealand where drum and bass is taking over.
I feel like that happened here in like 2012. There was just a lot of electronic stuff happening for a while. I think it's just people going through phases, more or less.
Sure.
Like I wouldn't say what's popular they're hopping on, but like, trends kind of change. What's influencing people, I guess, kind of changes.
Yeah, I don't really know the answer to that, but
maybe we don't have our finger on the pulse of the community
we don't.
as much anymore.
Around here.
Being old guys.
Old guys.
We're just old guys.
How much of
couple of dads.
How much of this project was down to like COVID? Because a lot of people have been focusing on solo projects, small projects because of that.
It kind of was.
Gave us time for sure.
I pretty much started that right when the pandemic hit. It was like, all right, I'm gonna start writing, and this is what happened, I guess, because of that. But I had time.
Grim says, I have to know where the Oddy Knocky reference comes from. Or at least if it's straight from Clockwork Orange.
It is.
Yeah, for sure.
Got it.
A lot of the stuff that we there's a lot of pop culture references, and then like old sci-fi stuff.
A lot of movie
movies.
references, comedies, like
pretty much everything is referencing something. It's not creative at all.
No,
just stealing other people's stuff.
Maybe actually, like in terms of the lyrics, I'm going to ask you a question because
Yeah.
I read the lyrics because you had I think on your Bandcamp you had the lyrics for one of your tracks, right? Or it was maybe on your YouTube video.
Yeah, the YouTube has them for sure.
And I was getting a feeling of discontent, my friend. There was a feeling of discontent. Would you say that
it came across?
Yeah, you got it. You figured it out.
Well, I picked up on the lyrics. I enjoyed them. I think it's in the town track. Keep forgetting the name. Sorry, bro. A town is a place. Where you're talking about the future being bright or something. Is that like, just from my understanding, that's like, oh shit, the world is crushing us, but like everyone is saying, yeah, it's so great, right? Is that kind of the vibe?
Sure.
A little bit of that, yeah. I feel like I think especially at that point where we were writing and as we were recording, there's just that feeling of like everybody saying like it's gonna get better, everything's gonna be fine, it's all gonna get better, this is only for a short time. But I think in that moment it didn't quite seem that way.
And when did you write that?
There was.
When did you write this
When?
stuff? Yeah, was this like mainly early last year? Or?
Maybe like May.
Yeah,
right.
It's
May
about a year ago, close to that.
We're still dealing with the same shit.
I know.
Here we are. It looks bright.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think everyone there is a unity in it almost though, because like everyone's going through the same shit. It's like some common bond of humanity. Hopefully, don't know if it'll bring us together though.
If you just talk about what's going on, I think everybody's feeling about the same way.
Yeah. But just broken.
For sure. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's it for the questions, although I did have one that I think this is probably going to be a difficult question for you to answer, and you said that this is kind of more of an experiment, but I think my feeling from the songs musically was that they felt very tight, but there was a kind of looseness to them as well. I think that looseness might be just kind of where you mentioned your willingness to kind of experiment a little bit. How much of that was kind of intentional, and how much did you kind of struggle with like not straying too far out of this is the sound of this song, right? Or this is the sound of this project?
So it definitely was intentional, but I wanted it to come across chaotic. So like some of the more chaotic parts where it's like, oh, what the hell's going on? Like dissonant chords and stuff was like thought out, and like I definitely went back and like retracked some stuff and like tried to make it more listenable, like I guess from a dissonant melodic standpoint, which makes no sense at all. But
yeah, no, it makes sense. And did you well, my feeling was that it just seemed very well judged overall. Like nothing felt like it didn't fit, and I think that's something that I know I've come across, is where I'm trying to create outside of the rules, but there's still rules. You don't want it to go off in some kind like in some jungle beat or something, you know what I mean? So it seemed very well judged, so I think that's a credit to your work, because that sounded awesome. Best live bands you have seen, asks Victor.
That's tough. Under Oath, when I was 15, was probably the most memorable thing I've seen in my lifetime.
Nice.
Definitely. Seeing Under Oath like the first time was like, oh, like tightness.
Yeah, these guys know what they're doing.
You seen Converge?
I haven't, but I enjoy Converge for sure.
I've seen them twice, and they are freaking tight. They're awesome.
Nice.
They're damn good.
I remember From First to Last was really fun back in the day too.
Yes.
I think recently what I've seen that was great. Dance Gavin Dance is always fun to watch.
Dance Gavin Dance.
Hail the Sun is incredible live.
Hail the Sun. Well, you mentioned some bands. I'm going to have to go and check a few out because I haven't heard of all of them. So,
There was one band, I don't think they're together, called Harvard. It's spelled strangely.
That band is dope.
Harvard. Absolutely. It was like a weird experience, like kind of a chill band, but with bigger moments with like trumpets and shit. And it was just like seeing them live was totally unexpected, to just be in a trance the whole time and be like, what am I, what's happening?
Are there any
Having feelings again?
Are there any local bands that, or like a local acts that you feel don't get their due, that need more listenership? Or
I feel like a jerk if I don't name someone.
I know.
like, you can be like me and just be, you know, the kind of guy that sits in your room and like works on music and
Yeah,
doesn't pay
that's me
attention to
for
the
sure.
outside world. So
Yeah. That's
scene? What scene?
Yeah, that's a thing. What? Who?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely me.
That's fair. I think most of us in this last year have experienced a
Yeah.
degree of that anyway, so everyone can
Yeah.
relate. Cool, boys.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. And
Thanks for having
good
us,
luck.
bud. It was fun.
Write more music, and we'll be playing it as soon as you release it. No worries. So that's
Sick.
awesome. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good evening.
Thanks, man.
Take care.
You
Awesome. Good to have those guys on. And